All right, Mr. Reardon here. I'm going to show you how to format a document in MLA format in Microsoft Word. Now, this is the 2016 version of Microsoft Word. So if you're using an older version, especially for the Mac platform, it's going to be considerably different, and you might want to consult a different video. This one's really going to focus on the newer version. So we're going to go ahead and look at the first three requirements on the MLA checklist. They all go together, and they're talking about the heading. Our heading needs to contains all required elements. When I say all required elements, I mean starting with our last name and first name. I'm not going to use my name here. I'm going to use a fake name. How about Embarcadero and Jesse, and then teacher's name, I'll use my name here, Mr. Reardon. Next element is the course, so English 9A will be the course for this, and then period, so period 2, and the date. We want to be sure the date is spelled out, so 10 November 2016. So we have all the elements. Requirement 1, punctuation, so there needs to be a comma between the last name and the first name and 1 space. Period after Mr. if you decide to use it, though it is okay to just have the last name too if you want to. Comma after the course name, then a space, then period 2, and then of course the date. There's no punctuation at all in the date. You should not abbreviate anything except Mr. is okay, and abbreviating 9A is okay as well. All right, so our heading is good. Next requirement is that our paper is written in Times New Roman size 12. So the default for Microsoft Word is Calibri size 11. We have to change that. I'm going to do Control A on a Windows computer, Command A on a Mac, Control A also on a Chromebook, but Chromebooks, of course, don't have words, so you don't need to worry about that. And then go up here to the font window here, click Times New Roman to change it. And then the size right now is 11, so we got to bump that to 12. I just click in the font and then type a 12, hit enter, and it raises the font. Okay, fifth requirement. Paper is double-spaced. So the default spacing in Microsoft Word is not double-spaced. It's also not single-spaced. It's actually a strange spacing, 1.15 lines. So to change that, we're going to select the whole thing, Control A again. We're going to go up to paragraph. And then there's this tiny little button here that will open the paragraph window. I'll click there, and we get the line spacing settings. So it says, so we have these before and after line settings. So you want to be sure they're both 0. So you have to change that, hit 0, and then click outside there, make sure it takes that setting. You want to not add space between paragraphs of the same style. Then for the line spacing, you're going to select double, and it should get rid of the 1.15 automatically. Once you've made all these changes, you can press OK, and it will format your entire paper as being double spaced. All right. Last name and page number. This is important. So we want to. You actually have to go up here to the Insert tab. And we're going to go all the way over to page number in this little three menu stack here. Page number, top of the page, and then we're going to choose the one that puts the page number on the right side. So clicking here, plain number 3 is the option. It gives us our number that will change as the pages, or it will increment as we continue through the pages. I'm going to, then of course you need the last name. This person's last name, of course, is Embarcadero, so I'm going to type that last name here, Embarcadero. And 1 space between the last name and the page number. Once that's done, you click here, double check that this is now page 2, and we've got page 3 down there. You can't just use the header settings, because if you do that, the page number won't change as more and more pages are added to the document. So that requirement is handled. 7 paragraphs are indented. It's the same on most word processing. Here, actually, these paragraphs look like they are indented, but if they weren't, if they were like this, I think you can just hit tab one time and you will get an indented paragraph. All right. 8th requirement. Margins are exactly 1 inch on all sides. So again, Microsoft Word's defaults are not MLA format. That's something different. So here, in this case, you have to go to Layout, our Layout tab. Margins is the first option. You click on that, and there is a default option here for 1 inch margins. So you will click 1 inch margins, and it will change it for your whole document. All right. Our 9th requirement is that the title be centered. It looks like our title here is centered already. If it weren't, in Word, on the Home tab, you click this little button here to make it centered. Default, of course, for typing things is to be justified on the left, but you can click that button, the alignment button, to change that, make it centered. Nothing should be bolded or underlined. I know there's a temptation to bold the title or underline the title or make it bigger in any way. You don't want to do that. Just leave it alone. If for some reason you find something bolded or underlined that shouldn't be, just clicking on these buttons up here will fix that for you and make it no longer formatted in that way. Okay, parenthetical citations are present and accurate. 12th requirement. You can just find any parenthetical citations in your text and make sure you have this procedure, you have this order. So there's no space between the end of the quote and the quotation marks. Then you have your quotation marks, 1 space, open parentheses, the last name of the author. If it's a website, you won't have a page number, but because this is a book, there is a page number. So space, and then you have a page number, open parentheses, period. And then 1 space before the next sentence. The period should not be in the quotation marks. If it's like this, that's not okay. You have to get rid of it. Okay. Our 13th requirement has to do with works cited, so we're going to scroll down here. Works cited is here. Works cited should be on its own page. So right now it's not. We need to press enter a bunch of times to get the works cited to be on its own page. Works cited, the title needs to be centered. Center that. And we're not going to talk too much in this video about exactly how to format the works cited page. There are other resources for that. But I need to show you how to do the hanging indentation. Hanging indentation simply means that the first line is right along the 1 inch margin, but then all lines after the first line of the works cited entry need to be 1/2 inch in. So in order to know what 1/2 inch is, you have to go up to the view menu here, and you have to click on ruler, so you can see the ruler tab up on top. And then what you're going to do is you're actually going to take this, and you're going to take this here, and you're going to drag it over to 1/2 inch. Very easy. So this one is lined here, and then there's a hanging indentation. Same thing for the second one here. This is a hanging indentation. I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag it over. Easy. Okay. 14th requirement, papers not printed double-sided. It's a formality. Your teacher might give you handouts with sample essays that are double-sided to save paper, but if you're turning in a formal essay to a teacher, it's generally best to not have it be double-sided. It just looks better, looks cleaner, and more professional. And then, of course, our 15th requirement, paper bodies align on the left margin. Generally, the default for Word and other word processors is to have it formatted and justified in the left margin. All that means is that all of the first lines here are aligned. So if you find, for example, that somehow your text ended up being center justified, that would look something like this, or center aligned. It would look like this, and it's not even on either side. So you want to be sure you press this button up here to make sure it's aligned on the left. if you want to make it aligned on both sides, you can press this button here, which is a justify button that would make it the same. But that is up to you whether you want to do that. Either is acceptable. All right. And then we are going to look at our 16th requirement. So word count is included after the last paragraph. Word makes this very easy. So you're going to select everything in your essay except the heading, title, and works cited, just the actual body of your essay. Selecting that, and down here in the lower left-hand corner, the Word will tell you the number of words you have selected of the total number of words in the document. So here I've got 424 words. Right after the end of the essay, I hit enter once, type word count, capital W, capital C, one space between the words, colon, space, and then our total of words was 424. And we have met that requirement. All right, I hope you found this video useful, and until next time.